Hello everybody, welcome to or back to my channel. I am like crouching down here, okay? Because breaking news, we're starting a reading vlog. I know. I don't think that I had a solid intro, so we're doing it now. This reading vlog is just gonna be a bunch of new releases that I was super excited about, and that's it. And I read them. I went and I obtained them in the wild and I read them. But just like I'm excited for these books, I'm also excited to give a little shout out to the sponsor of this portion of the vlog, which is Dossier. So if you have been here for quite some time, this is a little bit of a throwback because I have partnered with Dossier before, really enjoy them, and I'm getting to do it again, which is very exciting. They are actually one of the reasons that I really started to get into different perfumes and scents and really wanting to dive further into that world, which is so intimidating and like an abyss, but they make it seem so, I don't know, nice and easy to navigate and also smelling absolutely freaking amazing. I think one of the best things is that they create such classic scents that are inspired by designer perfumes that you already know and love. And so it's really cool to get to explore those and fall in love with like your new scent for the season. One thing that is new since the last time we talked, me and Dossier, is their candle. And y'all know I'm a candle girl. So I have been saving this for such a special time. But actually I think I'm gonna give it to my little brother because this scent is literally exactly like the cologne that he wears, which is designer inspired. This one is specifically, you can see, inspired by a Dior scent. I think he'll definitely love that. Also, they have a risk-free system which allows you to try out the scents, perfumes, colognes that you want to try with no risk in it. And if you decide to return the scent, they offer the standard 30-day return window with no questions asked. If you're interested, I will put all of their information in the description down below. Once again, thank you to Dossier for sponsoring this little portion of today's vlog. And now we will go on to all of the other booky books that I read. Hi, can we just chaotically start a reading vlog? Like, I think yes. I am in the mood to read so many new releases. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it. As you can see, hair washed, face washed, moisturized, retinoled, all that jazz. I am on a little reading roll right now. I have finished 3 books so far this week. It is Saturday. I have 2 more I've started for like other things, so that's fine. But I'm also kind of in the mood for a little bit of murder. So we're gonna start it. Do you ever have those authors where you're so excited to read a new release by them that you are almost scared? That's where I'm at. I have a few that have come out. One is a new to me author. The other is an Emily Henry. This one, I love Simone St. James so much. And then I have a bunch of new releases that I really want to read. So I think we're gonna do another thing where we just read as many as we read, and I'm shedding. Yay. Anyways, I am excited to get into this. I know that we are set in the 90s in this one. Maybe? July 1995. OMG, is this about me? Is this being play about us? Literally my birthday. It's July 1995. Not a specific day, the whole month. It's about me. We have our 2 girly pops who are probably dating, and a young couple find themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along an old, deserted road in this terrifying and new novel from Simone St. James. So I guess that they're going to be driving down this little road, and so they find a hitchhiker. She's not doing well, covered in blood, takes her to the hospital. She dies at the hospital. And now they are like looking into the murder, the cops are, and they're in the middle of it. So I guess that they're going to do some sleuthing. They're going to get some blame. It's going to be, something paranormal is going to be in here. She's a paranormal thriller author. So if you ever want paranormal thrillers, may I recommend Simone St. James to you. She is so good at what she does. And the fact that Grady Hendrix blurbed it, we're already doing well. We're already doing well. So I'm excited. And the author of The September House. Oh, I loved The September House so much. It's on my list of books to buy, actually, that I've read this year. So anyways, let's just get into it. I have decided that listening to this is the way we're going to go for right now. I may read some of it physically as well. Maybe I'll read it along with the book. I don't really, along with the audiobook. I don't really know. I mean, I wanted a copy of this because I love this author anyways, and usually when it comes to thriller authors, unless it's the specific book I love, I'll pick whichever, because for Riley Sager, I want to own all his books, I'll be honest. With Simone St. James, I just love all her books, but I kind of love them all equally, so I just get, the prettiest cover to, represent her on my shelves. So this is the one that I've loved the most so far, and I am on chapter 3 of this one, so we are less than 4 hours out from finding out all the tea. Honestly, I could very well binge this tonight, not gonna lie. I love listening to thrillers on audio because it feels like the ultimate suspense, because I don't know about you, but my eyes skip forward so badly when I'm reading. It is just a habit, because I would skim read a lot of stuff for my lit classes, and then I would go back and read specific sections more in depth, but I never read everything fully. I never did. I just did it. And the habit has stayed in my little neural pathways. And so I always skip forward, and I have to cover the page with my hand. And this way, I'm just listening to it, and the intensity that creates is just fabulous. I love it. The only genre, there's 2 genres I don't like to listen to on audio. Everything else I really enjoy. It's horror, because sometimes I do not want to hear those words used in my ears of the gory stuff, because I do like horror that is within its element, not grotesque. Grady Hendrix level grossness is what works for me, but I wouldn't want to hear that. I wouldn't want to. It'd make me bleh. But romance does not work for me. Fantasy romance, yes. Regular romance, truly no. You can just assume why. Whatever you assume, probably true. Probably hadn't thought of it, but I agree with you. It is starting to rain though, apparently. And Annabeth has dug down under a lavender plant, which is great. And so we're just going to have a little rain in the background while we listen to my little audiobook. And I'm very excited about this. So let's continue. Okay, so none of my updates about plot and whatnot are going to include things that are not in the actual book synopsis. I don't include stuff that's in the Goodreads synopsis or any reviews, because it gets into spoilery territory, but I'm about 80 pages in so far, so I think we've got the full scope of things. So we've got, I'm gonna remember these names by the end of it. April and Eddie are newlyweds, and they haven't known each other for a while, and I won't mention some of the flags. They're not red, but they're a pale yellow, perhaps. Not alarming, but let me look over there kind of color. Just to that, they don't really know each other that well. She's still learning things about him, even just reading his expression and stuff she doesn't know. Which, I think they've known each other not even a year and are married already. To me, that's fast. I think that's meant to be emphasized as quick in the book as well, because we've got some of those hints going on. So there's that there. They are effectively stopped in this town because the hitchhiker they picked up to try to save eventually passed away in the hospital. The cops came oddly fast, out-of-state cops, sure. And they are keeping him there in the small town, which makes sense because they're the last people to bring him up. I understand the setup and plot, but obviously because we're sympathetic to the main characters who were in their head, it's Get it together. Please. So they have decided, April and Eddie, that they are going to investigate the small town and the happenings and this person that they know her name, but they don't know much else about her because they want to also clear their name. And in doing so, they find out a local legend of this supernatural entity that haunts that stretch of a road. And when you see it, you die or something like that. So there is something supernatural at play. That's exciting. And I knew that would happen because I know this author. I know what thrillers she writes. They're marketed as such. It's in the description. All the good things. But I'm so into this already. And the audiobook is good because it is creating tension and the narrator isn't doing those freaking distracting voices for different characters. I don't like when they do that when they're not really good at it. If you're good at it, that's one thing. But a lot of them just make their voice sound like this for the guys. And then the guys are like, oh my god, I'm a girl. Like, it's just so annoying. This author's not doing that. She's not even trying to do that. She just kind of takes on like a different vibe to the voice. But it's not like trying to literally sound like a different person. So that is good. But so far, we are on the road to success. I am technically on page 78. I want to say I'm just shy of being on chapter 12 so far. And yeah, it is a good time. I could see this being creepy because I do feel like this is their first day in the town. So, nighttime. What will happen? So I did not think I'd be here this early to come here and say, I have almost finished this book. It is the next day. I did absolutely sit down for 3.5 hours and speed read through this book, basically. Essentially. I'm on chapter 35, page 271, so I have like this little bit left. I just really got into this audiobook. Like, this audiobook is so good. I don't know. I've read a book by her physically. I've read a book by her now audibly. I would say it really depends on your mood that you're in. But a thriller audiobook, honestly, I don't know. Other than, I think there was that, what is that one that they're at a wedding? Is it The Guest List, I think? That audiobook was a flop. But other than that, audiobooks have always been really good. So anyways, I am really enjoying this. It is definitely creepy, spooky, strange. I love that we've got like this town legend that's being brought in. I'm not going to mention anything that's not mentioned in the synopsis because I don't want to spoil anything, because I just think thrillers are so fun when you get to discover things alongside your characters, and that is what happens in this book. I think that she does it really well. And I'm obviously just a fan of her in general, but I just think that this is so good. And it is currently stormy and cloudy and rainy outside, and I'm going to finish my creepy strange book. I have no idea where we're going to go to next. I haven't thought that far ahead, but I'll have to. But we'll just see. Let's go finish the coffee, read the book. I'm very excited. Hello guys, I have finished Murder Road. In fact, I've already put it on my little finished trophy shelf for the month of reading. I really enjoyed this. This is a 4-star for me. It was a little bit too surface level for me to give it a 5-star. Typically when thrillers get a 5-star for me, it's because there was some kind of emotional pull. That's what a horror and thrillers really have to do for me to fully give that a 5-star. And this one just didn't have that. It had the opportunity, but it it kept going surface level, and then it would kind of poke at digging deeper, and then it just would pull back and not do it. So while I really, really enjoyed it, obviously with the 4-star rating, I think that the side characters really aided in that. Like, our main characters were interesting and fine enough. I liked their dynamic together, but the side characters, like the not Airbnb, oh my gosh, that wasn't around. The bed and breakfast that they were staying in, the owner of that having ties to everything going on was really interesting. I loved her personality. She was hilarious, her and that Princess Di poster. And then the other sleuths in the town who were already kind of into the conspiracies and kind of knew what was going on and helped them along was really interesting. And it was kind of a fun twist to have. It wasn't really a twist. It wasn't like a plot twist. It was just a little twist to like that sleuthing thing where usually it's like someone who's outsider of the town comes in and does all these things alone and by themselves. I liked that there was this addition of side characters brought in to help with that and help along with that. I thought it aided itself really well into kind of unfurling the details and history of the city that they were in without making it feel like an info dump session as they're like browsing through old articles and whatnot. I thought it was really fun, and it lended itself to be just kind of like a little bit of a goofy time in between all the, you know, ghost sightings and activity. So 4 stars. We're starting out good and strong. I knew Miss Simone wouldn't let me down. She is just a good grand time. I think what I'd really like to see from her as an author is something get very, like, just more emotional. I really think that could lend itself. Like, what I'm thinking of is, like, the ghost or something ends up being the grandparent of the main character or something like that, and they end up actually sacrificing themselves again, you know, after death to protect, and it being very emotional. Like, not that, oh, I didn't know that was my grandparent, but like they were very close, and it turns out that they were like a guardian angel over them or something like that. I think that that would be such a emotional thing to happen. I think she would write it very well. I'd really like to see that version of events unfold. I'd probably cry. There were a few parts in here where I was like, oh, see, if we didn't just kind of like end that note off on like a little goofy jokey joke, I'd probably cry. That could get me. Hello. So we have a new book. I have officially started it, and I wanted to update you on just my initial thoughts on the matter, and we are reading Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. So you'll notice I grabbed the library edition of this because you're not coming home. You're coming home with me. You shouldn't have come home. You shouldn't have gone home. I don't even know what it is. The last book that she wrote where that lady was staying at someone's Airbnb and like he was also gonna be there the whole time. Bad book. I know some people were like at the twist, and the idea of the twist was the best part, but it was not good. It was so I guess the twist from like the first chapter, it was in oh, you shouldn't have come here. Literally, it's there. Anyways, I thought The Perfect Marriage was way better than You Shouldn't Have Come Here, and I didn't even really fully love The Perfect Marriage towards the end, but I really did like throughout the book, that one. So hopefully this one will be better. But so far what I've read is we have 3 siblings, 2 sisters and a brother. One sister stayed in their town and hasn't left. The brother has gone off out of the town to do bigger, better things. And the other sister is an addict who is currently actively attempting to be in recovery. And all of them have to come back together again, which they haven't been all together in about 7 years, because their mother passes away after being on hospice for a little while. And what the little synopsis says, because I haven't gotten to this part yet, is that they are going to go through their parents' belongings, probably to sell the house. That's the part that I've gotten to so far. I'm on chapter 8, page 38. And so I'm assuming that they're going to go through to clean it out, sell the house, split the cost or whatever. And they're going to stumble upon a collection of home videos, which are a bunch of VHSs, which is why the book looks like this. I think it's a really cool touch. I really like that. And they go to do it for the nostalgia. Like, they're gonna watch it together, they're gonna have some old memories, they're reminiscing, because again, they haven't really had a very good relationship as adults, and they haven't really seen each other in a while because of just a myriad of things. And they come across one VHS tape that has a recollection of a night in, what year is it? 1999. That none of them recall. On screen, their father appears covered in blood. What follows is a dead body and a pact between their parents to get rid of it before the video abruptly ends. Beth, Nicole, and Michael must now decide whether to leave the past in the past or uncover a dark secret their mother took to their grave. Yeah, because that's another thing, is other parent is not currently around. He left 7 years ago, which is also when they all stopped talking to each other. So very interesting. Very intriguing. Excited to get further into this one. The writing style is very abrupt, and it's very like boom, 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 which some people really enjoy. I don't tend to be that person. I also don't love super lost in their thoughts thrillers either. I like an in-between. Instead of it being a Megan Miranda, because I do like Megan Miranda's writing, but sometimes she can get a little meandering, and not Geneva Rose. The in-between for me is Stacey Willingham, where she really works on describing and setting up the scene and creating an atmosphere for you, but it all has a purpose, and the atmosphere plays into it and adds to the thriller, whereas with this, we're kind of lacking any of that. It's more creating an atmosphere of tension between the siblings, but it is such a jarring and abrupt way of speaking that it almost doesn't even feel real. So that's the only thing I don't love. And I'm not gonna lie, it felt very dramatic. Like, we got right into it. Chapter 1, boom, mom's dead. Like, it's the most dramatic scene you can ever think of. Like, it feels like the beginning of a movie. And you know what? It is very much kind of that vibe of, like, Lifetime, Netflix original thriller movie. And I don't hate that. I just have to be in the mindset for that. And I can get in the mindset for that. That's kind of what I expect from Geneva Rose. I don't really expect a very thought-provoking, intense, I'm gonna cry in this thriller kind of thriller. It's just not what I'm gonna get here. And that is okay. It is okay, because honestly, a lot of thrillers, I just read to be entertained. So that will be what we judge this book on, as if I was entertained. And I will let you know once we've made more headway. Is that the word? I am in the mood to tear up a book. Just tear it to pieces. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Because I finished Home is Where the Bodies Are. Let's talk about it first, and then you can, as we talk, you can guess my rating. So I went into this with fairly low expectations, okay? Because I didn't love the author's latest release, aside from this one, so the one from last year, because it just was so predictable and boring as hell to get into. Like, here's my thing. If the twist is bad, for whatever reason, but the journey is good, we're living, we're laughing. We're not loving, but we're living and laughing. And sometimes that's as much as you can ask. The perfect marriage, whatever that's called, domestic thrillers are where she should reside, and she should go back to, and she should stay, because that was really good. That was really fun. That was really fresh. I don't know what we're trying to do currently. I'm not mad. I'm just incredibly disappointed because this was not as bad as the other one, but it was so close to being as bad. So in this one, we have the 3 siblings who are now trying to investigate why they found their parents with a body on a VHS from the 90s. All of these, like, those are fun little extra additive elements. I think it's a good premise and setup. Like, I enjoy that. I've realized grief is a fun theme to tackle in horror. I really enjoy that. How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, I think, is a book about grief. And it is phenomenally done. Love that book. Sorry if you don't. Whatever. This, it like had a shallow attempt at being that, but not even really. And so people who were saying this was heartwarming and this was like emotionally tugging at the heartstrings, huh? What do you mean? Like, genuinely, I'm asking because I'm curious. The Three Stooges are trying to solve what is going on in this house. What's happened, where the dad is, what the mom did, what the dad did, what the dog doing, why they did it, just all these things. And it is so blatantly clear, the twist, from the character introductions. Once we have everyone step on onto the scene, in the police lineup, you know who did it. You know who did it. It's like, we didn't even try. Because disappoint me more, why not? So not only are we getting points of views from all three siblings, which the son is insufferable. Hate him. But he's a tech guy, so he's a tech, sorry, not a tech guy. Correction on that. He corrects it in the book. He's a tech entrepreneur. Gag. So, okay. And then we have two sisters, an older one, and then I think the middle child is a sister. Yeah. And then the tech bro is the youngest one, because of course he is. So the two sisters, hey, they're the same person. But one, like, did cheerleading and one listened to Blink-182. Those are the differentiations. I mean, other than one of them is a recovering addict and the other one is judgmental as all hell. Those are the two. Okay. So there's no way to differentiate those two women. So if you're not paying enough attention, or if you're paying more attention to, like, the actual happenings and not the shifts in the chapters, good luck to you. Honestly, I was paying attention to them because the narrator did not differ in those people in, like, their tones in the chapters, and it literally sounded like the same person. And then I was like, no, they actually are having the same thoughts, just Uno reverse about each other. This is so annoying. So there's that. And then we throw in past chapters from the mom's point of view from 1999 for some mystery. They ended up being pointless to me, honestly, because nothing was actually answered in there except for maybe vaguely answering why some things happened. But even then, I just know that if what happened, this is my thing. So this twist isn't new. This twist is not done any differently than it's been done before. And I think that's my biggest problem. A twist can be a twist that's been used a bunch of times, but if you do it well, gagged. Loved it. 5 stars. That was not the case. And not only that, but the end was such a Scooby-Doo villain mask off reveal completed with a rainstorm and everything. I was like, God gives his greatest battles to his strongest soldiers, but he also gives the greatest covers to the baddest books. Like, it was just so bad. So bad. And I genuinely don't recommend this to anyone. Like, at all. I'm not kidding when I say I guessed it from chapter 3 or 4. And then throughout I was like, oh, okay. Maybe something else. So I start coming up with other theories of things that could have happened just to make it more interesting. And then no. We go with the most bland version of events and don't even add a little razzle-dazzle to them. I'm like, it just, again, not mad, just disappointed. So, hello. Oh my god, my forehead's cut off. Should I leave it like that? Probably. Anyways, back to the reading. I have found our next new release. I honestly feel like I really only do, what are they called? Like thrillers, mysteries, that kind of thing for new release vlogs. But honestly, those are the ones that I struggle with, like, oh, is this worth picking up or is it not? Because, like, I'm super picky with thrillers. I know what I want. And I have people that I know love the exact same ones as me, and I have a, like, 80 to 95% chance of enjoying it if they liked it. And so I feel like that's just my calling. But I do have some other new releases on the shelf that could get picked up instead of just keep going with thrillers. But this one just came in from the library, so, like, had to do it. And what I know of this one is we have, I think it's 5 couples that are on an island for a show that's like Love Island meets Survivor. I've only watched Survivor. I've never watched Love Island. Not really my thing. I like reality television, but really I only like Real Housewives. Like, when I say I enjoy reality television, I just mean Real Housewives. Is true crime, like, I'm literally watching The Jinx right now. Is that reality television? Like, because if so, then I also like that. 5 couples on a reality show where they have to, I guess, essentially try to survive and stay a couple on an island for the longest amount of time. And I'm assuming they get trapped on the island. Because it was, get ready for it. You'll be shocked. We have another thriller, Harkening. Please. I do like that word, though. It's giving Edgar Allan Poe. Agatha Christie's classic, And Then There Were None. I know. It is groundbreaking show-stopping for a thriller to utilize And Then There Were None as a source. But it is. That is what it is. Yeah, it's 5 couples trapped on a storm-swept island as a killer stalks among them. I have really enjoyed Ruth Ware as of late. I didn't read her last one. I need to still read that. 0 Days. But I really enjoyed The It Girl a lot. And I enjoyed One by One. I want to go back and reread The Turn of the Key, but we're going to finish this one first. Not your knee, Pop. So, let us get started, and I will check in with you guys soon. What was that ASMR moment? What was that? Okay, please ignore my hatch is on in the background with my little reading ambiance as I'm watching some old reading sprints I just pulled up off of YouTube. But I just wanted to comment on, I've read 40 pages of this book so far. I'm intrigued. We're getting the setup of them talking to the producers, kind of getting introduced to being a part of this reality television show. And interspersed between every chapter, we're getting a tiny section, like I'm talking, it's a page, but only on the page is like this little paragraph or even just a couple of lines, and it has a date and the time, and it's basically little snippets of the future after an awful storm has hit. Someone's calling for help, like, over the radio, and obviously problems are happening. So I kind of like that, because instead of toggling back and forth fully between the future and the past, we're getting to kind of stay present in what could be considered the past and then get little tidbits of what is to come, just enough to make you, like, intrigued of, oh my god, what is happening? And it is just enough to give you that want to continue and finish a chapter to get to that next little portion. They don't necessarily at this point tie into what we're getting in the chapter, but I could see how they could. And even with the one, The Turn of the Key, even though I didn't absolutely love the ending of that one, I actually think, thinking back on it, Thriller Me now would probably give it a 3.5. Past Thriller Me gave it like a 1. So we'll give her another shot, because I do love even just the look of that book. But this This is a lot of potential. And I do trust and believe in Ruth Ware. After reading One by One, and then, what was it? The It Girl. The It Girl really sold it for me, because that one was, I don't know if it was the time I read it, what was going on, if it's what I needed at that time kind of situation or what, but it was so good. This one is 380 pages. So it's not as long as The It Girl, but still fairly long thriller. So far, so good. Let's hope it stays that way. Okay, so we need to chat One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I have now gotten into this book about 150 pages or so, and I'm trying to find the little thingy. I am in part the storm. So I am one chapter into the second part, I guess would be how you'd say that. And this is quite interesting. I've realized the only reality television that I enjoy watching is Housewives. I only really care about the Real Housewives and only the certain franchises. I'll always give a new one a shot, but you'll never see me watching New Jersey. Sorry, it's just not for me. I do not care for, like, romantic reality TV, I guess, like The Bachelor, Love Island, any of that. I did used to watch Big Brother with my mom, but I kind of don't like that either anymore. I'm just not as into it. I just think it's actually, they kind of talked about this on here, how it became everyone just applying to like get their 15 minutes and maybe start up like a career via that, instead of like just your normal average bloke joining in and like, I don't know, it feeling more relatable in a way. I just don't care for it anymore, but I do love it in a thriller. I love it in a thriller. I think the back end of reality television, like the reality of reality TV, is far more interesting than reality TV, because I think on The Housewives, at some level I understand that it's staged and faked and whatever at certain points, but it doesn't feel as obvious as other shows. And I don't know if it's because like the Housewives have had, you know, some of them up to 13, 14 years to practice being fake. But the people on other shows like Love is Blind, Love Island, just all of those kinds of ones that I want to get into, even like Selling Sunset, I want to get into that because I see other people really like it. But every time I am, it's like I can't even make it 10 minutes and I'm already bored. And I'm like, okay, time to go watch The Conjuring for a 16th time. Like, I'd rather be doing that. But that honestly is kind of true all the time. Getting to see the behind the scenes of it and how everything kind of is happening for real is very interesting. And I like that in a thriller. I don't know why. There's something more interesting because it's like there's a sinister, scary twist on it versus... Like, I also would not read a romance with a reality television spin because I don't care. Like, I don't care. Is there murder? Then I'm there. You know, that kind of vibe. So I am quite enjoying this. I do think this will be an easy, fast read for me to finish. I will say, I think the pacing is very on par with a Ruth Ware thriller. It's not exactly steamrolling and like full speed ahead or anything by any means, but it is feeling, or maybe it's just reading faster than a Ruth Ware would. I do like that we are on this island with all the contestants when a storm hits, and then we are having to figure out what happened, who was involved, and even aside from the island and the storm hitting, that's just to set up this ambiance for the story. The true thrilling and mystery aspects are within the crew, the camera crew, the producer, the director. Like, everything is just a little sketchy, and every couple and every pairing, every person can very obviously be seen having like something just that's a little off, or they're hiding or whatever. And our main character is just like, what in the House of Commons is occurring? The first little twisty twist, which wasn't really like a plot twist, it was just a plot development but it went a different way than I thought it was. So it's like a plot twist light. I did not see coming, and I'm very intrigued by it. I'm very interested in it. And I actually really like it because it immediately alleviated one of my biggest complaints about the book. I won't say what it was because then it would give a little something away, but I'm glad to be rid of it. So I'm going to keep on going with this one. I do foresee me finishing this today. It is a gloomy, well, projected to be stormy this afternoon kind of day. And it just feels like a perfect day to wake up early, have a cup of coffee, read my little thriller, have a little snooze with my dog, have another cup of coffee, and then read it more in the afternoon while it's storming. Like, that's just a beautiful day to me. Okay, I have a banana, and I have a book. I am on part 3, The Reckoning. Things are going down under, if you know what I mean. It's not going to get good for these people. That's what I'm sure of. It's going to get worse somehow. I am really, really liking the way that this story is flowing. It is such a creeping, eerie, scary, like, one-by-one pick-off of each person. And this is not annoying me as much as every other book that touts itself as, like, and then they were none inspired typically does. Like, this is actually a good, fun, intriguing time, and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely would recommend this one. This one is probably more thrillery and fast-paced than The It Girl. Is that what it was called? I think so. That's the one that I really liked by Miss Ruth. Let's see. Where's your list of books, lady? Yeah, The It Girl. And One by One. This one is good. I think you would like it if you liked One by One. Honestly, this is kind of the summer version of One by One, actually. That's what it feels like. You know, when the author can do it well, I don't mind reading it a bunch of times, not gonna lie to you. But it is creepy. It is eerie. It is unsettling. It's not exactly thrilling, but it kind of reminds me of the thriller The Swell, which is one where it's like this cult-like surfing group is in these far-off jungles of a place. I don't remember. I want to say Australia, but I don't know that that's really where it was. It could have been anywhere, to be honest. I read that one like 2 years ago, but I still think about it. It was pretty good. But yeah, I think we're gonna finish this one up now, so let's get to The Reckoning. Okay, so I'm on page 370. I think I might have like a few pages left, but it just feels like something is about to happen, and I wanted to record my reaction because I was thinking this book has such a solid ending. What is actually kind of amazing is that it's not specifically a plot twist. The entire book is contorted by the end. And I actually really like the... You know how with Knives Out, as things are happening, we think one thing's happening and then it shifts and we get the real perspective and it makes the entire rest of the movie look different to you? That's what this is reminding me of. Like, it's giving me that same feeling. So I feel like something is about to happen. Something extra. I feel like we already have the majority of everything figured out, but there's something extra. So we're gonna read together. And even if it's not, at least we'll read the last few pages together anyways. I have finished Le Novel. And honestly, I think this is a 5-star read. I think it is. I think that I have been tussling with the idea of every 5-star has to be like life-altering, changing books, and I don't think that's true. I think it can just be a well-crafted, structurally sound, entertaining, gripping read. Especially with thrillers, I feel like that can be the case. And that is what this book was for me. Everything checked out, everything makes sense. I love when the truth of a thriller is right beneath my nose, but my nose is pressed too close to the book for me to even see it happening before me. And then when it happens at the end, I'm like, gagged. That is a sign of a good thriller. And this one did it excellently. I think this is making me realize 6-star reads would be like life-altering reads, right? Because you're adding a star, which doesn't even exist in like the 1 to 5 typical star rating system. But that's like above and beyond. This one, it's not life-altering, but it absolutely is a book that I would recommend to any thriller reader. Whether you're brand new, or you are seasoned and you've read so many in your lifetime, or you're like me and you read a ton of them, but you're really there for the fun times, the vibes, and the entertainment. That is all here. Like, it really was such a good read. Wow. Yay. So let's go in the timer. And I think that this page count wasn't correct, but that's okay. That's all right. So we'll end the timer. This took me, let's see. I just think this is like a fun little thing. 1, 2, 3. So 3 hours and 4 hours and 36 minutes is how long it took me to read this. That's pretty fast for me. I feel like my average is 5 to 6 hours, but this one was very easy to fly through, and I really feel like it is really showing that she just really did everything in this one, huh? Because like the It Girl is definitely one of those like slow burn, slow paced, atmospheric, vibe based mysteries. It's not really a thriller. That's the thing with Ruth Ware's. I feel like every other book is a thriller. This one is more like one by one. It's a solid mystery that has a little bit too high stakes to solely be considered a mystery, which then I think leans me into a thriller category for it. But this is definitely for like the mystery people, the mystery readers. So, very happy with this. Very happy to find a 5-star read, and I do think there is a chance that our next book could potentially be a 5-star read. I do think. I am so excited for this one because I've heard it compared to Knives Out, and I freaking love both of those movies so much. So we will see if I think that that is accurate. I love when the books actually have this inside. It's so cute. And look, I'm not gonna read it yet. I'm gonna read it whenever I'm finished, because then I feel like it will make sense. Already a good start. Okay, it is starting to storm so much, and I just have to say, from what we've read so far, I wanted to pause because I want to see if this is correct. I like being right, but I don't want to talk about being right about twists and stuff because that's a spoiler. But I feel like we are reading the manuscript of Waffler. I don't know why my voice just went away. But I think we're going to be reading the manuscript of this author. And they went on vacation and solved a bunch of crimes with someone and then wrote a book about it. And so we're either going to learn about that or it's going to happen again. And honestly, I hope it's the latter. Like, that would be kind of amazing. But we're going to go look at the storm real quick and then we'll be back. This is already so good. So I'm on chapter 3 and it turns out that yes, one time on vacation she did solve a bunch of mysteries with someone that spun into a book that she wrote inspired by it, and then basically a cozy mystery series that came from that. And the guy in the book is real, that she had like a fling thing with, and now he's needing her help, even though he's like this annoying nuisance that always is around and getting money from being in the book or whatever by threatening her for like exposing the secrets of the world about her. I like this idea. I like the sister dynamic. I think that's interesting in books. I like a sibling dynamic. And I like the setting so far. And I like our main character's tone. I like the tone of the book, and I like her tone too. It just seems very goofy and quick and fun and just like a good little time. There are footnotes. Footnotes are not my favorite thing. I enjoy them because they feel like asides. It feels like how it felt to watch, what is that show with the hot priest? You know what I'm thinking about. You know what I'm talking about. That show was like breaking the fourth wall all the time, and that felt like footnotes. And this feels like that, but footnotes also take me out of the story a lot. That happened in the Nevernight Chronicles too, although I kind of liked them more in that because it was history and world building that you really didn't have to know, but it definitely added. And then some of them were fourth wall breaks, but not all of them. But I liked it there. But they actually, I did not think I'd be comparing A Cozy Mystery and Nevernight, but the footnotes are both very snarky and smart aleck, and I like that a lot. Okay, so I made it to chapter 15, 148 last night, and I am absolutely obsessed. I'm obsessed with this concept. I'm obsessed with this author. I'm obsessed with the writing style. Everything is so good. Okay. Hello? And I'm not gonna lie to you. Did I get a little nervous when I saw Miss Geneva Rose in the back of this book? Yeah, I did. Because I don't like that lady's books. I will read them all the time because I really like her writing style. But the books are bad. The books are bad. So is Liv Constantine. Sorry, The Last Miss Pear should have been the last book. Not good. But the author of The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise, The Golden Spoon, both blurbed it, and so did Miss Elle Cosimano, the Finlay Donovan author we all know and love. I really think if you enjoy Finlay Donovan, mainly the humor and just the overall vibe, this kind of feels like we are reading from, I don't know, it would be like if we were getting a bunch of random like interludes of Finlay's actual books that she writes. That's what this feels like. It doesn't feel like a copy and paste of Finlay or anything like that. Just in tone or whatever. It doesn't feel like the same character, but it definitely has the same humor and just, I love it. I just love this so much. And there is a character that really cracked me up because I'm like, are we talking about who I think we're talking about? Because there is an author that is younger than the main one who read the book, it comes out, and then, this is not like a spoiler for the plot or anything, but she read the book and now has a New York Times bestseller that happens to have the same setting, the same vibe, the same twist and everything. And I'm like, Liv Constantine, did you like this? Because that was Frida McFadden in the book. Because if y'all don't know, I have recently found out that Miss Frida has been Miss Fraud. I don't know how much, because here's the thing, with the Miss Frida and the Liv Constantine, that specific little battle, I fear that Miss Frida won. And actually, when she quotes the legalese in here, I'm like, oh dang. So how is there even a lawsuit going on? I don't know. But that's just a little publishing tea. I really love this. I really highly recommend it. Perfect summer read. I'm gonna finish this today. I already know it. And I want more. And it's making me want an Aperol Spritz. I've never had one before. But they are having so many in here. And there was something that happened. I think it was the love interest, second chance love interest kind of thing. Another character got invited to the plot. Also known as introduced. I haven't had coffee. I was like, this has to be a series. This is gonna be a series. I just feel it. I went on Goodreads. It's the first of the vacation mysteries. I'm so excited. I love this merriment of like fiction, kind of like women's fiction almost, and cozy mystery. It's so good. I'm so into it. Oh. Hello everybody, good morning, and wow, I finished Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies, and that was a full 5-star read for me. That was so much fun. It literally had everything. It had the exact feeling of something that would be in like the Knives Out universe. It didn't feel like it was trying to be like that. It just felt like it naturally had that vibe and that tone. I could also literally picture every single character perfectly, and I didn't love the footnotes at first, but because of them, it really, once you got into the rhythm of reading them, it actually helped me get more into the story, and it felt like I was reading someone's autobiography or like one of those, you know, like a tea book or something like that, instead of a fictionalized cozy mystery. But I would say, if you enjoy Finlay Donovan, this is definitely what I would have to recommend to you. I think that it is very much on par with those books, and it's just, the humor is so good. I love the sibling dynamic that we saw. We've got like this love triangle mess of a thing. The side characters are hilarious. The setting and just the way that she is describing everywhere they're traveling to is so perfect. Like, it felt like such a summer read. It was so good. It was just so good. I highly recommend. I think it might be my favorite out of all the books that I read for this. I'm not 100% settled on saying that for certain, but it's very high up there, I must say. But yeah, I think all of these books would be very solid reads for the summertime. I think they all have that vibe. And I think I just really love there's something about like a murder mystery or a thriller for the summertime. Like, I feel like thrillers just work all the time, to be honest. So I would recommend all of these, even Almost Where the Bodies Are. Maybe if our tastes really align, cautiously go into that one with a library hold. But if they're opposites, go buy it. Go buy stock in it, because you might absolutely adore it. But that is going to be it for this one. I think some kind of thriller emoji, maybe a knife emoji, would be good for today. Or you can just let me know if you're going to pick up one of these, or if you've already read them, what you thought of them, all that good stuff. And then, of course, as always, If you have a new release title you would like me to throw into the ring for the next one of these vlogs, do let me know down below. I try to break up the genres, but I always end up with the mystery thrillers for new releases because they're the ones I'm most excited about, honestly. I'm excited for fantasy ones, but those tend to be within series, and it wouldn't really be conducive to this kind of vlog in my head. But nevertheless, do let a girl know if there is anything that you want to see. And make sure that you drink your water, be kind, and go have a good day on purpose. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.